Welcome everyone to the Worst Fans podcast. I'm your host Marco, and I'm here with your hosts Rhett and Buck. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
And today is going to be strictly a Marvel podcast. We've got the finale of Miss Marvel that was released today, and we also have Thor: Love and Thunder, which released last weekend, and we all saw it. So we'll probably be talking about most of the time, but just a little talk about the finale of Miss Marvel. They haven't seen it yet, but unfortunately they were spoiled the ending, and I don't know. I think the ending is just gonna. How do you guys want to put it? Because we don't want to spoil it for you guys.
So first of all,
yeah.
we've seen the spoiler, right? We got spoiled. We're not gonna tell you right away in case you want to like, "Ugh." Maybe you can find out later. Put a little something that says what time we start. We should quit talking about that spoiler. I don't know. Go ahead. Let you continue now.
Okay. So I guess. Well, I think the show as a whole was actually very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think the ending kind of changed the game for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you haven't watched the show yet, I'm warning you now. Fast forward maybe about 5 minutes, and you will skip this whole Miss Marvel spoiler talk, okay? Because it's very short. Starting now. So now it looks like the mutants are going to be in the MCU officially. And the reason that's being is because Kamala Khan, her friend Bruno discovered that her genes are different than for her family, and he calls it a mutation, implying that she is a mutant. Now it's very different from the comic books, because in the comics she is an Inhuman. At this point, I just think Marvel just doesn't like the Inhumans, so they're just not gonna ever introduce that ever again, seeing how much of a failure that for the first show was. But this is an interesting way to introduce the mutants. We saw.
I'm curious to see. Yeah, without watching it, I'm trying to figure out how that is. So I'm curious to know what you know.
It's very cool how they introduce it. I won't tell you that much, but it's very cool to see on screen that, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is definitely mutants and X-Men, and like it's gonna happen. This is definitely gonna happen.
I guess a sidebar. I don't know if Buck having a chance to talk. But I always thought it was interesting because I remember hearing even Stan Lee in interviews like, the X-Men were the age of science and the age of the atom, nuclear, they're a byproduct of, nuclear weapons and things like that. And then they go back to, and the first mutant, by the way, was ancient Egypt, where there were no nuclear weapons, of course.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was a little funny they did that. So I don't know, maybe fingers crossed what you're saying relates to something ancient in the desert. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
You'll find out, but I already know. So yeah, that's really it. There's also another post-credit scene in Miss Marvel, which was confusing, but it was okay. Another one you gotta look out for. Besides that, I generally enjoyed the show. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the character from here on out. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Miss Marvel.
My dog was licking my cup.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could talk more about the topic but I honestly haven't finished watching the show yet, so I can't really put my judgment on it as a whole. If how good the show was.
How many episodes have you seen?
I've seen about three.
Okay, you're about like I've seen 2, and I like what I see so far.
It's
I
funny
like
because
it.
I mean, I like it. It's just not a show that I like feel the need to like finish watching right away. I mean, it's one of those shows that I just wasn't really anticipating to watch, and I find it kind of funny that it ended in a way where apparently it's a game changer. I'm like, okay, that's great. The show that I was least looking forward to has to have an ending. They're like,
that just goes to show that Marvel is basically saying you have to watch every single one of our shows, because you never know how it's gonna end.
I almost said that.
They're slick.
I'm only 2 episodes in, and I like it. I think someone said a couple podcasts ago, the preview looked like a little Spider-Man, very young, which is good. It's, some youth. It's kind of neat to see. But yeah, it's almost like, this show might not attract everybody. So if we put something really cool at the end, then it'll make everybody come to the,
Yeah, that's basically what it did.
Come to the end here. Something kind of funny too. A couple weeks ago, 2 weekends ago, we went to New York City, protect the kids for the first time, and we stayed in the Newark side of New Jersey. And the last day, we kind of just tooled around in Jersey City. Had no idea Miss Marvel was from there. So when they're like, holy crap, we just were driving down that road right there a few days ago. So it was one of those neat things to, I guess, have Mia involved with that because she saw it and watched it, and it's again this show I'm a little more tied to it because I've got a daughter, and it kind of
Right.
you relate a little more that way. You don't have to, but for me, it's like, oh, okay, that's probably the main reason I'm watching this. Otherwise, or not the main reason I'm watching it, the main reason I'm getting into it because I could see the relation, kids that age and stuff starting to go through a lot of the same things and
Hmm.
looking for that extra special something. Of course, this one gets a superhero power, so I don't know if I wasn't a dad, I'm not sure if I'd like it as much as I am. So
Nah, I'm not a dad. I liked it.
there you go. Yeah,
I mean,
probably
it's better than I thought it was gonna be. The trailers didn't blow me away, but from what I've seen of it, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, I think that's it for Miss Marvel. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It's a very good
Yep.
show. 6 episodes, not too long. Now for the main topic of the night: Thor: Love and Thunder. We're gonna spend about maybe 15 minutes of spoiler-free talk, and then after that, we'll have spoilers about the entire movie because there's a lot to say about this movie without giving away spoilers. So, um, let's talk spoiler-free. What'd you guys think of the movie?
It was what I expected. A little bit of a dip below my Ragnarok. I kind of knew that was coming, though. For me, Ragnarok was the near perfect Marvel movie, and I didn't expect it to beat it. But the previews really lended itself to it being a silly movie, and it was that. I thought. Um, but I liked it, and I still wanted to go back and see it again. There's many moments I liked, parts I liked. Even though it's silly, doesn't mean I didn't think it was not hilarious. I thought it was funny as hell. Maybe a little over the top for me. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
All right, Buck.
I mean, I went in expecting to like it because I was I was already prepared going in. After watching Thor Ragnarok, uh, getting an idea more or less how this movie was gonna go. So when I went to go see it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it, and it'll be all right, whatever. No, but I saw it. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. I thought the comedy in this actually worked better than in Ragnarok for me. I can't explain to you why that is. It just did.
It's
I
weird.
thought actually the tone was actually well balanced as well. I thought all the characters are great. Christian Bale, Natalie Portman was the best she's been in the Thor movies. Um, I actually thought the visually it was visually stunning too. One of the best visually stunning MCU movies I've seen. It was really really good. Um, yeah, I was shocked that I liked it as much as I did. After the movie was finished, I actually felt like I wanted to see it again. So I didn't expect that. I mean, I thought I'd be like, all right, I saw it, it was all right. But no, I really enjoyed it. It was good. So yeah, honestly, out of all the Thor movies, this was actually my favorite. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10.
Man,
Super surprising coming from Buck, man.
it really
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
I know. I'm surprised too.
Because as a previous podcast has said, he was not the biggest fan of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't hate it. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Wow,
But yeah.
that is crazy. Um, I walked into the movie with similar expectations. I just thought it was going to be a silly comedy action adventure movie. I enjoyed the film. I think what helped me enjoy the film was the length of the movie. It was short, so it wasn't enough time to put in a lot of fluff story in there. It just had to be filled with important plot points, action, comedy, whatever they could fill in the blanks with. Um, I had to say I would watch it again because it was just that pure action, pure comedy, pure nothing in the side really bothering me with story wise. I enjoyed all the actors. I like Thor. I loved Natalie Portman's role, Tessa Thompson's role. I think I did a good job. Um, I was most impressed with Christian Bale. I truly think he stole the show. I loved him as Gore. Man, he really knocked it out of the park for me. I mean, some people said they find him corny. I did not find that corny at all. I thought he was menacing. I thought he was scary. Threatened, like he was a threat, and it showed Thor's growth as a character, which was awesome. Um, but there were I had problems with the movie. There were some inconsistencies in the story told before, and besides that, I mean, it was a very entertaining film. That's why I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I think I think we can talk about Taika Waititi being, not held back at all, in my opinion.
He did not
I think
hold
he
back.
let
Yeah,
loose.
he
I
let.
think this was a minimal suits situation. You know how we do that thing? I think there's probably fewer suits because when they have faith, they back off and they say, "Hey, we trust you. Don't mess this up.
Yeah.
You better not mess this up, but go ahead, do what you got to do." And I think that's why, to me, it felt very different from the last one because I think he was held back a little, which I guess worked for me because I like just enough holding back on Ragnarok. I think they let him go and said you can at least match how kind of silly Guardians of the Galaxy is, but you can't go past that. And I mean, I think he did a little. I think it was a little sillier, but this one is.
Well, I mean, what worked for me in that aspect was that, I mean, even with the trailers and everything, this was presented as a sci-fi romantic comedy slash comedy, whatever, and that's pretty much what it was. And I guess that's what I got, and he did it very well, in my opinion. You know, um, and even the times where the tone was actually serious with Christian Bale's gore. I mean, it was great. I thought it worked fine. Even the scenes with him and Natalie Portman, the more serious scenes, which we'll get into more in the spoilers, that worked. I mean, I was like,
Yeah, that
man,
was great.
it was touching, and it almost got me a little teary. And I'm like, man, this is pulling on all strings in the right ways. So yeah, I it just I for me, I can't give you an honest, not so much honest, but proof or or evidence that, Thor, Love and Thunder is better than Ragnarok. I'm not gonna tell you that because I think it's just all a matter of opinion of how each movie hits you. But for me, this one hit me differently, man. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I really did.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess it. It's like now we're kind of in comparison mode. The trailers for Ragnarok actually for me back then, I thought were like, "Ooh, this is gonna be like overly funny." Like he sees Hulk and he goes, "Hey, it's my buddy from work." I was like, "What the hell?" Like that line alone in the trailer, I was like, "This is gonna be goofy." Like I was actually expecting it. Maybe that was back then what turned me to the right direction.
The thing is, at that time though, Marvel always had a little goofiness in it. They always had a little comedy here and
Little,
there. I didn't know to what extent Ragnarok was going to go. I didn't expect that. That's why when I saw Ragnarok, it was just kind of overwhelmingly surprising how far they went with the comedy for me. And I don't know. I
I
just
think how about this? In an MCU movie, there's the serious ones and the silly ones, and then or more comedic ones. And but for Thor, it did start more like down the middle, and it tried to stay that way and this in Dark World. And then Ragnarok was post Guardians, and I think they said, forget the other stuff. That's not working. This is working. Can we do that? And I feel like that was maybe the shift that you weren't really loving at the time. It's like, hey, Thor's not like this. It would have been like Iron Man going silly and then going completely
yeah,
serious in Iron Man
right,
3, I guess.
right.
I think the flip is what maybe threw you off a little, if I have to guess, like your
Well,
perception going into it.
again, a lot of people didn't like the second Thor, Dark World, right?
Yeah. Which we
They
thought
hated
was
that
fine.
movie. There's a lot of people that really have a real hate for that movie. I'm not one of those people.
Nope, me
So
neither.
I'm
Thought it
sure
was
when they
cool as
saw Ragnarok, it was such a difference, and I guess they actually welcomed the comedy and the difference of the character, and they liked it. For me, it was just, damn, this was way the other side. Like, oh, this isn't
hell.
the same character. So that's I guess that's how I took it.
But let's look at it like this. What if Love and Thunder was the third movie and it was as goofy as it is, and you
Mm.
went from Dark World to that, you'd have been like, what the hell happened here?
Maybe you're right. I couldn't tell you that, but yeah, it's possible.
And that's why I'm thinking it's like you got dealt the blow a few years ago with Ragnarok and you're kind of over that. And so at this point now you almost expect anything. And it was not as maybe as bad as you thought. So it was actually a relief. It's like, hey, it sounds a lot like my Rise of Skywalker, where I was
Yeah,
like,
well, but here's the thing. I mean, because I never said like it was a bad movie. It's just one of those things where it's like I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel to want to see it again. It was just I recognize the good points of the movie. I really do. It just didn't hit me that way. I didn't care for it. This one, for some reason, did. I wanted to see it again. It was fun. It was a really fun movie for me.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I could
Yeah.
definitely see it again. But, like, even for Ragnarok, I saw the first time in a Marvel movie where they really took, like, a 19 mid-70s comic art, and they used the same exact, like, geometric shapes, and they designed this world looking like a crappy '70s comic from,
Mhm.
like, the Silver Age, and somehow made it look like I could see this thing fitting in this wacky planet, and it was for me, it looked visually perfect, and that was the movie that I thought it was a little more visually better because I thought they nailed the '70s comic aspect. Thought this one was beautiful quality-wise, but, like, the design, I just liked a little better in Ragnarok too. Um, the music I like better in Ragnarok. Now that's a very personal one, but, like, I mean, like, the Guns N' Roses motif versus the Led Zeppelin one, and then the score, like, the orchestra in Ragnarok hit me harder than this one, except for Natalie Portman's great, like, '80s awesome superhero theme she got. That was really cool. Not to, like, I guess that's not quite spoilers yet, right? I mean, we all knew she was, gonna be a Thor.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right. So what else? Any other like generic things we could talk about before we're moving into spoiler territory? I guess we've gone about 10 minutes now.
I can't really think of much else without giving anything away in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Everyone liked the acting.
Did you know this isn't a spoiler really, but apparently there's a 4-hour cut of Thor: Love and Thunder
Yeah.
that Taika Waititi said it'll never see the light of day.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
he's like,
I
because
think,
Taika's very like, no, this is the copy, this is the one it's supposed to be. Why should I? He's a very
yeah.
narcissist
Well, I
when it comes
think
to.
the reason behind that was because I think the other 2.5 hours that they filmed was just of jokes. That's what I heard from
That's
Chris
what I'm
Hemsworth.
thinking, honestly, because
I
if
can
that's the
see that.
case, then I'm like, yeah, I'm glad he did it because then it really would have been overboard if they
Yeah, it
didn't
was
go.
just of jokes and bad jokes and yeah.
Because I mean, I think Lena Headey, Jeff Goldblum,
Oh,
and Peter
what?
Dinklage were all supposed to make cameos in this movie, and they were all cut out.
I heard Lena Headley. I didn't know Jeff Goldblum was going to come back
Yeah,
though.
Jeff Goldblum came back, and so did Peter Dinklage was to come
Dinklage.
back too.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
wasn't in it before, right? This would have been his first
No,
appearance.
yeah,
He
he
was in
was
it.
in
He was in Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So you're saying he was going to reprise that character?
Yeah,
Mhm.
The
the dwarf.
Yeah, the guy who made the weapon, if I
Hmm.
recall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Never Dying Star Forge.
nice. Actually, I guess we could talk maybe one more thing without spoiling, and we can get deeper. But y'all really like Christian Bale's character that much, huh?
I really
I
do.
did.
I really
I thought
do.
I like.
I liked him more than Hela as a villain.
Okay. I liked his origin. I thought that was pretty cool. Like this backstory they give you early on.
Yeah.
So you didn't kind of sit there and wait, like, who is this guy? And finally tell me who he is. Okay, thank you. Now we know. They gave it to you right away. I thought that was good. But like, I won't hit spoilers here. There's a pretty early on encounter with him and Thor, like a fight,
Yeah.
and both going kind of back and forth. But like sometimes the way he got hit by Thor, I just felt like he doesn't look like he's gonna last too long. I think if Thor tried right now, he can take him. And actually, I could say the same for Gore towards Thor. There's a couple moments I was like, all he's got to do is one thing, and Thor's dead. Right? Like you remember kind of those
Yeah.
moments.
I know what you
It was a
mean.
Yeah.
little,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that's when he kind of showed his abilities more and kind of not more for the audience wise. We could see what Gore could do compared to what Thor can do. And later on in the movie, I think that's why he doesn't really that fight moves somewhere else, So it's just like he doesn't
yeah.
really have the advantage there. He has the advantage
I
somewhere
gotcha. Yeah, I
else.
recall. I feel like maybe I just need to see it one more time, which we're all talking about doing again. We're like, who wants to see it again? We all do.
Mm,
That's a good thing. That's a good sign. I give it a 7. That's a really good score for me.
yeah,
So
yeah. I also gave it a 7.
really?
I did not enjoy the movie. It was a good movie. I just had problems with it.
You
And
felt a 7 too?
mhm.
Oh, I thought you were an 8. I didn't
No,
realize.
he's an 8. He's an
Really.
8.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Question though. I think I know Red's answer on this, but Marco, which movie did you enjoy more, Thor: Love and Thunder or Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness?
Hmm, that's a tough one. What did I give? I gave Multiverse a 7 or an 8?
What did you give Multiverse? I forgot.
I don't know.
I gave it a 7.5, which I think that was stupid. I meant I should just put it to 7. 7 point something is stupid, but yeah.
I think Multiverse of Madness, I think the only memorable parts of that film were the parts with the Illuminati. And maybe some cool stuff that Doctor Strange did, but genuinely, I think I enjoyed Thor more because I could literally sit down and watch Thor again and probably have a good time and watch it. Multiverse, I'm probably gonna just fast forward the parts I didn't care about.
That's exactly what was my reasoning for it too. I mean, I enjoyed Doctor Strange too, but after I saw it, I didn't get the feeling to, hey, yeah, I want to see it again. I didn't was like,
Actually saw
I'll
Doctor
watch it
Strange
later,
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, so but with
Seen it twice.
Thor, I did want to see it again. I was like, yeah, definitely see it again, like right now.
Yeah, I could do that too. I don't know. They feel really close to me, but for different reasons. Yet I rank Thor just a notch lower than Doctor Strange.
It could be
Not that I
also I
want.
had higher expectations for Multiverse of Madness than I did
True.
Thor.
That's also
That
That does
didn't,
mean a difference. Yeah, it makes a huge
yeah,
difference with all of
yeah.
us.
I mean, the
because
rumors that are leading up to Multiverse before it came out were
we're
so
huge.
like crazy,
Yeah,
and what they gave us was so little
not.
compared to what we thought we were gonna get.
Yeah,
So
Again, remember, I was the guy who didn't watch a single rumor.
yeah.
Like, I was just like, "Hey, we'll see where this goes from Spider-Man," which it felt like it didn't go anywhere from Spider-Man. Um,
yeah,
it's the Wanda movie, but
yeah. It should have been
yeah,
called Scarlet Witch.
yeah, that would've been nice to give her her first movie, actually, and Doctor Strange would have been a major lead. I think that's kinda how they should have done it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I liked Wanda, so I liked Scarlet Witch, it was cool. I liked the ending of WandaVision so much that it was nice to see more of her than I thought I was getting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess, alright. About ready for the spoiler talk?
Yes. So now we're gonna talk about spoilers. If you have not
Great.
watched Thor: Love and Thunder, I
Just
highly
back away.
recommend that you click away and come back another time. Goodbye to the ones that are clicking away now, but the ones who are staying and talking spoilers with us, thank you for joining us. And man, this movie had some interesting plots that I want to talk about with you guys. So I'm excited to talk
Well, we
spoilers
called it.
now.
We all figured the cancer thing would happen,
Yes, that
and
was already a
it
given for me.
and she died. I actually thought she was hopefully gonna live because of Mjolnir's power and stuff, you know?
You guys didn't watch the end credit, right?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
The
She still
second
died.
one.
She still
Oh.
died. She just in the
You guys didn't watch
movie.
the second end credit, right?
Okay, so I didn't see it. Is it possible? Could you pull that up and we could watch it now? I could watch it with you?
Maybe. Okay, hold on. So this is the second post-credit scene for Thor: Love and Thunder because these two decided not to stay. They're not true Marvel fans. That's fine.
Never. Not anymore. I used to. I give up.
Valhalla!
Jane,
Who's that face?
It's Heimdall.
Why is there?
I see you
Huh?
dead now.
It's
Oh,
Heimdall.
cool. Why is there a stupid logo on
Thank you
this?
for looking after my son.
They'll probably take it down if
You are very welcome here to the land of the gods.
Where do you say we are? Valhalla?
Yeah.
Welcome to
Oh, cool.
Valhalla!
That's it.
What did she say? I couldn't hear any of it.
So basically, she's surprised that she made it to Valhalla, and Heimdall says, "Thank you for taking care of watching over my son." That
yeah, she's basically in heaven.
she's in Valhalla. Yeah,
So yeah, she died. And
she died. Yes.
it was unexpected. I didn't think she was gonna die. I really thought,
Okay, so the reason why I feel like they would even bring that up, in the comic books, we actually see Jane die. She goes to Valhalla, but that's not the end of her story. She actually gets revived, and she has an even stronger weapon than she did before. I forgot the name of the weapon already. There's already an explanation I had ready. So yeah, I feel like that's the only reason
So she could come back.
she could come back. She could be revived.
yeah, I think they just kind of left that open. If they were,
Yeah, you never know. In case she
I
decides.
doubt they're gonna like anytime soon.
You never know.
You know.
Maybe they'll give her a Disney Plus show, and that's what it'll be. The end.
Okay, it's called the All Weapon. Called the All Weapon. Undujarin. Undijarin. Yeah. So that's the weapon she gets when she's revived, and we might see her again. So I feel like that's the only reason why they would even bring that up in the first place. Because why else would you bring? Why we already know she went to Valhalla. We saw her kind of disappear into dust, and that's the same thing that happened to Odin.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's common knowledge that she went to Valhalla, and we didn't really need to see that. So why put it in?
Okay.
It's cool. Get you excited about something new. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's even neater now.
And they should have had that one as the first post-credit scene in the Hercules one. I didn't care about that one. Like,
Hercules one's gonna be cool though. I like
cool.
Hercules and Thor and some of the comic books. They're like best friends.
I don't associate Hercules with Marvel. It's weird to me. To me, that's strictly Greek mythology.
What about Zeus being right in there?
He's in Marvel though.
Huh? Yeah, I know. It doesn't feel right though. It's not someone that grew up with like, oh, Hercules. I always knew him as Zeus's son. Yes, but I never really associated with him in the Marvel universe.
But in some comic books, Zeus and Hercules are like best friends.
Is in the Marvel universe,
That's true. Yeah.
There's like a lot of standard stuff that just is. How about this? Back in the day, I thought it was weird that Thor was in the Marvel universe. I mean, he's a Norse god, just like Zeus and Hercules are Greek gods. It's just, I was kind of like Thor. Back in the day, it was like Thor was corny. Like it was like Thor. Why would anyone think this is cool? That's what I thought way back then. And then it took the Ultimates comic book to make me like Thor. Do you remember that? I know we've talked about it.
Yeah, I remember that. But I didn't like Thor right away either. But I knew him from the Marvel comics, so I associated right. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I just until I read anything about it, I didn't know. I was like, why would a god be in? It just didn't make sense to me as a kid. Even then I knew that was weird.
Look, like I said, it didn't like bother me in a way like that's stupid. I mean, it makes sense. It's fine. It just when they showed the actor and I saw like the theater go like, "Woo!" I'm like, who the hell's this guy? I don't even know who he is. This didn't mean anything. Like,
he's from.
Was it an actor that I'm supposed to know?
He's from Ted Lasso. That's the only thing I know him from. Yeah.
I've never seen the show, so
it's an Apple Plus show. Like, apparently, it got nominated for a bunch of Emmys.
Is he funny? Is he like a comedian? It must be, huh?
I think so. I think it's like a comedic.
Nowadays, if you're not a funny actor, they're not going to throw you in a new role in Marvel.
Well, I'm kind of excited for it because that basically means that Thor 5 is kind of going to be like a bro movie because Hercules and Thor in the comic books are best friends. So I feel like that's how that movie's going to end, them being best friends.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. He's gonna be like, I threw lightning right through your dad. I threw his own bolt through his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Speaking of his dad, Russell Crowe. What did you guys think of Russell?
I loved him.
I thought I was gonna hate him.
Great, yeah.
I loved him.
He was hilarious.
I told you it was gonna be good. You were not happy about it.
Accent he was pulling off. You say he's Greek, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it was a Greek accent. He's a Greek god.
Was it Greek or was it like I can't remember, but I thought it was like Russian in my head.
No, that was a Greek. That was a Greek. That was a Greek accent, man.
I need to listen to it again because I swore it was maybe I've.
What was funny when he was on the trailer that that whole flick when he those clothes and everything, the flick, he's like, you flick too hard, damn it. And then he looked at the rest of the group that he was with, the girls. He's like, all right, let's see who else is here. And they're like, no. Right there. Like, next thing they're like, oh, yeah. And they're like, oh, darn it.
Yeah.
But,
that's funny.
Yeah, he was funny. He was funny.
He was funny. He was a good Zeus. I liked it. He was so full of himself, and it was perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't know OG for you. You're not invited to OG. No.
Yeah. Let's see.
Gore. Okay, so Gore the God Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher.
So I loved Gore. I love Christian Bale. My only thing is, I wasn't a huge fan that they call him the God Butcher. Because on screen we only ever saw him kill one god, the first guy he killed. Obviously there were reports of him killing a bunch of others off screen, but I would have liked to see him kill more people because the title God Butcher is kind of like a big title. Also I thought that they were totally going to introduce symbiotes in this movie because the Necro Sword is a symbiote sword in the comic books, and the first wielder who wields it is the symbiote god Null. And I think that would have been a cool way to introduce.
Is that who was talking to him the whole time?
Maybe
in his ear, because like the sword was talking to him,
right?
It was
talking. It was a sentient weapon. But
Maybe it was him. Maybe that was the guy you're talking about.
maybe it could have been Null. I didn't even think about that. But it would have been
Yeah,
a cool way to introduce symbiotes.
I guess as someone who's going to be able to slay gods, right? And it's the sword who's really doing it, right? Like before then, he was just a dude.
Yeah, it
The
was just
sword
a
gave him
dude.
power. I still remember like Thor kind of punching him a time or two, and him like really taking the punch hard, nearly falling over. And I'm like, man, this guy's kind of doesn't seem like that intimidating to me until he's got a sword in your neck,
Yeah.
which was really cool that all the gods bled gold. I thought that was. I don't think I've seen that yet in a Marvel movie, but like the first guy was just this bright gold blood. It was
Yeah.
awesome looking. And then I think Zeus was bleeding gold too, right?
I think so.
Well,
Or,
Zeus
or
the
maybe
guy.
it was the like the guards that Thor was slicing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were
They
bleeding
were
gold.
bleeding gold out.
Speaking
Yeah.
of like the Omnipotent City, so many cameos from like different types of cultures and religions. In
Yeah.
in front of Jane Foster and Valkyrie, we see the Black Panther goddess Bast. We saw her sitting right in front, which was
really?
that was pretty cool.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
didn't
those
catch
cameos.
that
I could
either.
tell there were cameos, but I missed them all.
There was a dumpling god that was funny. Bao.
Go ahead.
Who else?
Fuck, you were saying something. Nice to cut you off.
No. I was just saying, yeah, I had to like see that again because I know there's a bunch of cameos that I missed in that
Yeah.
scene.
There was a
It so-
giant golden dragon, which kind of looked like the Great Protector from Shang-Chi. It's probably a similar dragon god
Yeah,
species.
that's
I don't
awesome.
know. That was
I
also
want to
cool.
catch like a Easter eggs video and see everything we miss.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that were in there that I just didn't miss, that I missed.
So how about
and when they were leaving on the goat arc, when they broke through the glass, you saw two Celestials, which was
I missed that.
yeah, two Celestials right
Oh,
outside
no,
the
I saw
window.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I didn't see. Yeah.
Man, I missed a lot.
Did
I
you?
was gonna say I was gonna kind of cut over to Natalie Portman's character and the question of how is it that she became Thor. I thought they explained interestingly in passing because he whispers to Mjolnir to always protect her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
thought that was
okay.
cool.
At least there's something. It wasn't like it just
It
happened
wasn't
because
right. Yeah.
she's got cancer and she's a nice person and
Yeah.
smart and going to save the world with her.
That was kind
line.
of one scene I was upset that they cut from the movie because I remember when they first leaked images of Thor: Love and Thunder, one of the first ones they leaked was Natalie Portman turning like first approaching Mjolnir and her floating up into the sky and becoming Thor. That was the first thing that I remember being leaked, and they cut it out from the movie. Yeah.
That sucks. I'm not sure I saw that, but
I'm probably gonna get a lot of crap for this because I don't remember. But wasn't the hammer Mjolnir? Wasn't it brought back in Endgame?
That was a past Mjolnir. That was Mjolnir from the
Still there,
past.
right? When did it ever go back?
Captain
he
America.
brought it back in time.
Captain America brought it back.
He did. Okay,
Yeah.
see, I
He
totally
returned it with
forgot about that. Okay, so
yeah.
okay,
He like twirls the
I
hammer
thought
around.
that
He's
was
like,
plot, like hole that no one noticed. 'Cause I'm
No,
like, I don't
yeah.
remember that. I don't remember when they brought that back. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Captain America brought it back, and when he went through that time thing, he had Mjolnir, he had the Infinity Stones.
or else Thor wouldn't have had his hammer in the future.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
up until Ragnarok.
That was actually a thing I was not a fan of when I mentioned Thor with Stormbreaker. Thor's weapons were always I knew they always had like a sense of sentience, like they were always living, but not to the point where Stormbreaker would be jealous of Mjolnir.
Yeah, I love it was a love triangle.
funny.
It's like
It was funny, right? But like that was never like introduced before, so it kind of caught me off
Yeah.
guard a little bit.
The second time it happened, I thought of you, Buck, and I was like,
yeah.
I wonder if that's gonna like turn him off because it's just too goofy.
You know,
Joke.
first it was kind of weird, but I kind of looked at it as he probably looks at these hammers like pets. You know what I mean? Like so I kind of understood it from that aspect. Like, oh, hey, but it was a little silly, but it was fine.
Yeah,
I
it was alright. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I know you guys weren't a huge fan of the goats.
No, the goats I thought were.
It was just annoying.
I
Like
thought they
it was
were
funny the first or
hilarious.
second time. Then after it kept going, I was like, I'm done. I'm done hearing
It's
this noise.
purely
There
a
was woman
10-year-old
next to
meme,
me.
dude.
Yeah.
This woman laughed at like everything once. Do you remember that? It's like, oh god. Shut up. Sometimes the audience ruins it for you around you.
I think
Yeah.
the funniest part with the goats is when they actually got into the shadow realm and they landed on the moon, and then the ark crashed, and then they
Yeah.
screamed. That was the funniest part.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Well, I loved. Let me tell you. I loved the Shadow Room. When they went to there and the color palette was like black and white
Yeah, that's
and a
cool.
hint of color. That was
That was
beautiful. I love
beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
That was great.
So I mean, I thought their fight scene was great. That fight scene
Yeah.
between Gore and the
That was
three of them. Oh, that was
They had a couple
awesome,
of
dude.
fights too. They had like 3 fights within the movie.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
I
Did
guess
you
before we
notice the little thing they had in the ship, in the bar, and the top it says cocktails and dreams? Did you notice
I
that?
did not notice that.
That was a total nod at cocktail. I was like, oh, that's great.
I
You'll
did
notice that
not.
the second time you see it.
I did
Trust me.
not notice
seems
that.
like
Yeah.
something was familiar, but I
It
don't know.
was the scene where Natalie Portman was outside with Thor, and they were like on the boat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were like talking. It was that scene where they were, behind them was where the bar was, and it said cocktails and
Cocktails and
dreams.
dreams and pink and blue neon. Blink, blink,
Neon. Yeah,
blinky, blink.
it's a little corny, but I could live with that.
Your 80s references with Guns N'
Yeah,
Roses.
it was cool. I was like, oh, look at that.
I guess before we get too far from Mjolnir, I thought her little weapon or her use of it with she'd sling it and then like
Yeah. It
it'd
shattered. Yeah.
separate and go hit and come back to her. I was like, that was
That
pretty
was
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that move. And that's when, as it was doing that, that really cool, 80s hero theme comes out. It's like, nice. She gets an 80s theme. That's pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. Let's see.
I noticed there were some things actually cut out from the trailer, well, from the movie that I saw in the trailer, which I thought was like, oh, okay, that was cool because I thought in the trailer that was kind of corny. So I'm glad they took it off. But there's one that they kept in. I was like, I still think they should take it out. But yeah,
The one where Meek is chalking up the board and you can't, and Thor's like, I really can't hear you. It's like, ugh. When I saw that
no,
trailer,
not that one. Oh, it was the one where Thor he finally sees Jane for the first time.
Hmm.
And he's like, Jane? Like
Yeah.
that. He sounds like Scooby Doo. I was like, Jane? Like,
did he
why
say
you
that? He didn't
no,
say it in the movie?
He didn't say it
yeah,
like that.
that was actually in the movie still. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, whatever.
Jay. I
Jane?
It started, by the way, kind of like you with Ragnarok. Like the first 30 minutes or so, I was like, I'm all in. Like, I don't think I'm as goofy as it is. I think I'm going to be fine. It was just the more and more the goof kept happening and happening and happening. It's like, I don't know. We'll see. But that first battle with the blue people,
Yeah.
protecting the blue people, and when I guess was it Welcome to the Jungle or Paradise City?
Yeah.
They played it went
Really
really
good.
well with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just felt like this is so cool. They really nailed it. Until he said, "Hey, come help us with this battle. We need your help for this battle." And then he repeats it, of course. So it was pretty funny. Um, Korg nearly dying. I thought that was kind of scary. I
That
like
was,
Korg.
yeah. It was plot armor.
He's
It was good. Yeah.
he's the only Funko Pop I have in a
Of
box
Korg. Yeah.
from Ragnarok. Yeah,
That actually, Korg was another one of the problems I had in the movie. It was the
yeah. Go ahead.
inconsistent storytelling. Um, so when Thor basically says that my dad and my other dad held hands over molten lava and they made me and had me as a baby rock, whatever, basically implying Thor had two dads. In Thor Ragnarok, when he's talking to Thor about starting a revolution, no one showed up except for his mom and her boyfriend. Um, Inconsistent story writing right there. A bit of a problem, not too much of a big problem with me. I don't care. But again, you got to keep a story straight. You got to keep consistent. I did thought it was hilarious when at the end of the movie, he met a rock named Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I didn't catch the name. That's
I didn't
funny.
catch it either. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, I guess I don't like it either. I think of it more in Star Wars where they can't just go back to something that's happened already and be like, "Didn't you see that? Did you not see that?" The Grand Inquisitor has a species and we've already seen him look a certain way.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you're saying with this. It's like, hey, we've already talked about his family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I guess you could argue that maybe he still had a mom. Maybe it's not his biological mom, but maybe it's just a mother figure that raised him. And I don't know. I guess they can only reproduce. Can you? Did he say it had to be a male
I
species?
don't know.
Maybe any rock, it doesn't matter. It's just melt the rocks, and that's a child.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of it.
I don't know. You know a lot about the comics. I don't know. So maybe you knew how they.
Well, core
do
species
stuff.
no, but I don't know. Lost me. I didn't like the
It could have
inconsistent
been
because
like
of a
that's
joke.
probably the argument. Like, oh well, doesn't mean you didn't have a mom just because you had two dads.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Interesting.
What else?
What about Tessa Thompson?
I
I
thought she
actually
did
liked
great.
her more in this movie than in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I didn't
I
like
don't
the
know.
fact that she got stabbed and survived. I mean, again, another
Well, that's been happening a lot lately in
Yeah.
not just MCU, everywhere. Like people are just getting stabbed now. It's no big deal. It's not
no
life
one can,
threatening.
yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Or Zeus, lightning bolt to the chest. He's
Just
fine.
his own lightning bolt. Yep.
Yeah, he survived.
Yeah.
So
Then you would have been Zeus or Thor the God Killer had he died.
Thor the God Killer, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yup. So let's see. Do you think is there any talk of Chris Hemsworth actually coming back to play Thor again?
Yes, he's already
There
confirmed
is.
to come back for Thor.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Yep.
Wow.
The end credit
Yeah,
says
Taika
Thor
said
will return.
he would do a part 5 if Chris wanted him to return. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Thor's new daughter in the movies, which is his actual daughter in real life. I thought that was pretty cool. Where she got her
He had a
powers
daughter.
from? Yes, he
Yeah,
got
I
a
don't know where
daughter.
she got her powers.
Where she got her powers from is a mystery to
Daughter,
me.
she died. Powers granted. Eternity. What
Could
was
have
the
been
name of
from
that place? Eternal.
Yeah, Eternity. There was a person, Eternity.
It looks like a power producing kind of place. That's
Possibly.
I thought it was cool. I liked it. Like as the dad, similar to the Miss Marvel, that was the part of the ending that really made me like it because I'm like, this is going to be fun. I think here on out, it's going to be hilarious watching him because the next time they make a movie, that girl will be like 13 or so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
probably.
he's going to have to be dealing with that, which is going to be a funny thing.
Love and
Yeah,
Thunder.
that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
And well, surprise, it's Love and Thunder, the name
Yeah.
of her, or her nickname and
That
his.
was the whole title of the movie. That's what it meant.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yep. Right before that, we were going to say something.
Well, I was gonna talk about Eternity. I don't know what you wanted to talk
Okay.
about.
Go ahead. I don't know anything about it.
Well, I have a problem with it a little bit. If Thor, okay, so hear me out. If Thor knew about Eternity, which apparently he did, talking to Zeus about it, he was knowledgeable of Eternity. Right? He knew it was there the whole time. After Thanos snapped, they go to the planets that Thanos is at and they kill Thanos. Why didn't Thor just go to Eternity and undo everything Thanos did?
Can he?
I mean, anyone could ask the command of Eternity, right? It wasn't just specific. There was no, you just had to get there. And Thor had the key, which was his Stormbreaker. He could have easily gone onto Eternity and
The whole reason
Eternity.
But Stormbreaker was kind of new at the time, so maybe he didn't know about it.
I mean, he had Stormbreaker for those 5 years that he was getting fat.
Because it had the frost.
But he was basically like shut out from the world. He wasn't looking for anything at that time. You know what I mean? So.
But I mean, I'm
But
sure
that
he
would
could
have
have thought
been
of something.
his way out.
That would have
knew of
been,
it.
he would have been healed, right? He would have been like, oh, wait a minute, that's right, Eternity exists. Let me figure out how to get there.
Yeah. Well, Stormbreaker had the key because it has the Frostmourne in it. So damn it, I can't say it. Whatever it is that
The Bifrost.
the thing that
The Bifrost.
Heimdall used. Bifrost, got it. Frostmourne is like a sword in Warcraft, I think.
I think so.
He knew it had that in there, and that's the whole reason Gore wanted it because that's what would have gotten him there.
That's why he was reaching for it when he was fighting Thor the first time. He grabbed it. He's like, "Don't touch my things."
That's funny. Don't touch my things.
So I know.
Oh yeah, speaking of, they had the Guardians at the beginning of the movie. It was nice to see them.
That was fun. That was nice.
Yeah.
It was almost too momentary for me. They were gone like that.
Yeah, it was more like cameo. Really, it was so quick.
Yeah.
I don't even think half of them said anything. I think it was just mostly Chris Pratt.
They left in such a damn rude way too. I was like, "Gosh, guys, can you be a little nicer?" Like, damn.
I guess they just hated him. They just hated having him on board. I guess.
You can tell, like, yeah, they weren't happy.
Bro, lizard, just hanging out all the time.
I mean, he was with them for like what, 3 years?
I guess.
Or 2 years or something like that. Because he after Infinity War, I'm sorry, in Endgame it was 5 years after him getting fat, and he said he hadn't seen Jane in 8 years and 7 months. So,
He was kind of.
so it could have been like 2 or 3 years he was with them.
True. Well, do we have much more to say? Is it think we can wrap it there as overall we all liked it?
Overall, we all liked it. I agree.
I have to admit, I feel like though you're saying you can keep going. It was nice the way it ended, and it's like I guess I could see it being for me. I was like, I could probably be over with Thor at this point. But
Well, he already said he's returning, so
I know, so it's I guess I would probably would okay. It's Disney Plus shows right now are kind of like what they focused on, and for me, I was like, I wonder if they'll even go back to it. And in my head, I thought they'll probably do a spin-off show, and that'll be how it dies.
I feel
But you're
like
thinking he'll come back in a movie, or just come back as Thor
I don't
in
think
something?
I don't think he'll show up in his own movie, or maybe he will. But before he has his own movie, I think he's gonna
Yeah.
show up in something more cosmic. So the only thing I can really think of is maybe an Eternals sequel, maybe the Marvels movie that's coming out. Um, it's possible that he can show up something that's Guardians 3. He might come back and they'll be like, oh no, not you again. Like something to that effect.
Yeah, I
That's
honestly
true.
thought this movie was gonna pass the torch to Jane, and
I
that
thought
we
it
were
was
gonna
too.
get her as Thor from here on out, at least for the next couple of movies. So I was shocked the way it ended, and ending where okay, no, so I guess we are gonna get more of Chris as Thor. So yeah,
Of course, now what you're saying is we're not going to see the end of Jane at this point. She's coming back.
I think she's gonna come back because I don't know why else they would throw
yes,
that in there if she wasn't.
Yeah, I think that's a good call though. Keep her around. Especially because she looked so good in this one. She did the part really well. It's like, oh, it's hate to get her back just to lose her, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's called, and she's gonna obtain the all weapon. I don't know the
The all
power. I don't know the power of it or anything, but I know it's supposed to be a
power of
really
all
powerful
to it.
weapon. That's it. Oh, Heimdall's son. That's
Oh
another
yeah,
mention. I forgot about him.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
It was
there
cool.
he was.
I didn't know he
Was
had a son. I know it was
maybe
I didn't
mentioned.
either.
That
Yeah, it's one of those surprise. John Hammond has a partner.
looked-
Yeah, but it's been there all along. You just didn't know. Like, it's one of those.
Oh, and one last thing that I kind of thought was they threw it in there just to be funny, and they didn't think about why that's so wrong. Infinity cones, the ice cream shop that they in the
That was funny.
background. It's infinity cones.
Yeah,
Thanos literally destroyed half the population, causing the world into go into chaos for 5 years,
Dude,
and you come out in an ice cream shop about him.
it's
it's
cool.
That's like coming out
insensitive.
for a pizza shop for Hitler. I mean, come on.
Hitler pizza.
That's you're digging in too deep.
Come on.
That's not
I
fair.
don't think that's
It wasn't.
appropriate.
Thanos wasn't a hater. He was just a mass
Yeah.
murderer.
He didn't create the Infinity Stones either. You
No,
know what
but
I
he's
mean?
the one who caused the murder.
Oh,
It's
I
the
see.
gauntlet.
Okay, you're tying Infinity Stones only to Thanos. That's a good point, then. The Infinity Stones are now,
Yeah.
not just the gauntlet and the
Yes,
snapping, but
but
I guess
he's literally holding the gauntlet in the Infinity Cones.
is he?
Well, yes,
Is he really?
he's holding the ice cream in the
Okay, I have no
gauntlet.
argument. All right, you won.
Come on.
Maybe that's the crowd. Like people live there just saying like giving it back to him like he's a joke. Like
I think
see,
it's your generation that's too sensitive to every damn thing. That's what it is.
It's not appropriate.
I'm playing, man.
It's not appropriate. Again, it's like opening a pizza shop for Hitler. That's it. That's what I compare it to.
Right before you said that, I thought of something, and I can't remember what the hell it was I was going to say.
There's a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
There's little tiny details that you could point out in the movie.
Yeah, this wasn't
Which
tiny though. It was kind of like, ooh, I have something to say. Damn.
I don't know why
All right.
Dad's calling me at this time. It's weird.
yeah, he called me too.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Got in the podcast. Dad's calling.
Um,
Oh, I know. Okay, so I can't remember if I brought this up already since we've all seen it now, but all the Guns N' Roses music. I know, Buck, you and I, well, first of all, we always love Guns N' Roses, but we really had a soft spot for, and I think our favorite song still is November Rain. It's when
Yeah.
you brought up Heimdall's Son is when I thought of this. So that scene where they get the bolt and they distribute Zeus's bolt to all the kids so they can have a weapon. And it's really silly, but they're using that like most heated part of November Rain where it's like you build up to it and it's like we're getting there, and then you get the solo you know, God, the Slash solo up on the mountain with the lead guitar, and he's killing it. And that's when it shows like my kids were laughing their butts off, but it's like the stuffed animals
The
and they're
stuffed
like spinning
animal.
around, like lightning shooting out of the bunny's eyes, and I was like, Buck's either gonna love this or hate it because he could
Yeah.
look at it like that's blasphemy. How could you make a comedy out of that song? Or he'd be like, oh, it was great. I'm just glad they used it, you know?
I loved it. If they would have used the whole song, then it would have been blasphemy because that wouldn't make sense at all. But to
Yeah.
use that part of the song, I mean, yeah, it was really cool. I liked it a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figure they took a serious moment and turned it into like silly. So
Yeah.
I was actually laughing at it. You were the one I thought about those. Like, I wonder how he'll take this. So
You're right. It could have gone either way for me.
yeah.
But
I
no,
could that's why I couldn't wait. It's like you need to hurry up and see it. There's one part in particular I want to ask you about.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, I
funny.
liked it. I thought that scene was cool.
All right. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
good.
hey, I
Yeah.
think we all thoroughly enjoyed the movie. We all had a fun time watching it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Buck enjoyed it the most. I'd say he gave it an 8,
Yeah.
which is
That's a
crazy.
win for you, man.
That's a
I'm
win
glad
for
you
It
like
Buck.
it.
Yeah.
was it was the best of the Thor movies.
All
Damn.
right, hats off to you, man. I
Yep.
don't agree, but I'm happy
I
that you
want to
liked
steal
it.
your thunder. Pun intended.
All right, well, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for watching the Worst Fans podcast. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys next time. Adios.